embraced by the rugged volcanic arms of the Sahyadri, lulled by the roaring Vaghori that roars as a waterfall, cuts into the rock, gives birth to rippling pools, and then streams out into the valley. There they lie, spreading out and curving in, a series of open mouths on the rock face, a resurrection of forgotten glory, the Ajanta caves. To step into the cool darkness of the caves is to shed the trappings of ordinary life and enter the realm of dream. The caves throb with religion and moral message. Even beauty is a vehicle for conveying values. Even the sensuousness of stories on stone is a reminder that art can teach. The Ajanta murals were not only remarkable for their high creativity and craftsmanship, they also told a story of the times in which they were created. We come to know a great deal about people and how they lived during the ages of Ajanta. Let's explore the world of the paintings and the world they depict. In a palace scene showing a detail from the Mahajanaka Jataka, the king and queen watch a dance performance arranged by Queen Shivali to distract the king. The scene is a unique instance in Indian art where all the musicians and dancers are women. The flute, the cymbals, the drums such as the dhol and mridangam, and the stringed instrument we see in this painting are all used in India even today. The ornaments and attire of the dancer, including her elaborately designed earrings, her decorated coiffure, and the flowers in it, are all an interesting indication of the fashion of the day. Another remarkable fact is that the dance movement seems familiar to us, implying a tradition that has been followed for more than 1,500 years. In another palace scene in the same cave, we find evidence of a highly developed, prosperous society. The ornate pillars and architecture tell their own story. In the painting showing the king's renunciation of worldly power, his chair is carved creatively with animal figures, showing both the artistry and prosperity of the times. In the composition of the painting and the artist's placing of his subjects, we find a close approximation to the craft of theatre. In the visual representations of the Jataka tales, we find a literary resonance as well as an inkling of contemporary social life. In the scene from the Vidura Pandita story, we see Purnaka, the Yaksha, and King Dhananjaya engaged in a game of dice. In another scene, we see the princess on a swing, waiting dreamily for Purnaka. This, in fact, reflects the romantic depiction of the swing in Indian literature. In the same Jataka story, we see the Naga king talking to his daughter and wife about Purnaka's proposal of marriage. The bolster behind the king provides valuable information for the study of textile design used in ancient India. In a painting of the Vesantara Jataka, a detail shows mendicants gathering to receive alms. The small square umbrellas held by two of them are a quaint reminder of the difference between our times. In another detail from a palace scene, the rendering of an indolent life of languorous luxury surrounded by the beauty of profuse foliage seems to hark back to the atmosphere in ancient Ujjain. The eroticism and unashamed indulgence in corporal pleasures are an indication of the openness of the times. It also points to the distance traveled in Buddhist creative craftsmanship from the severely religious to the later attitude of receptivity and inclusiveness. A telling example of the social context in these paintings is the one in cave number 17. Here, the assembly around the Buddha includes King Bimbisara. This ruler of Rajagraha was the first royal patron of the Buddha. Two figures on horseback are probably foreigners from countries to the northwest of India. There are other foreigners wearing round fur caps. The painting reminds us that Buddhism had already influenced Gandhara and other northwest provinces. The beauty and grace of the women painted by these ascetic male monks is stunning. Their figures are structured after the Tribhanga pose, which is taken from classical Indian art and dance. The suggestion of rhythm, the profusion of hand gestures, and the range of facial expressions verging on the sensuous belie the abstinent, Spartan existence of these single-minded artists. This is not a one-dimensional world. It is in fact several worlds coexisting to form a complete cosmos, encompassing structure, craft, and vision. A cosmos that edifies, inspires, and enlightens. And each of these worlds signifies a harmony between man and his medium, between theme and method. The perspective that epitomized its vision is gone. Ajanta inspired the believers not to create art for art's sake, but to give their lives over to religion. Therefore, our objective mind seeks artistic excellence alone, and since Ajanta has it in ample measure, we cherish its intrinsic worth and basic humanism which once inspired the artist to create.